Okay, so welcome to the first coverage video of the Indian Pacific Wheel Race, a wheel race that starts this Saturday the 18th of March from Fremantle, Western Australia. Okay, so what's it all about? So the Indian Pacific Wheel Race is a solo, single stage, unsupported 5,500 kilometre road race from ocean to ocean across Australia. The course is 100% sealed. The race starts on the 18th of March 2017 at 6 AM in Fremantle, Western Australia, and finishes at the Sydney Opera House. And basically the clock does not stop with this race. There is no prize money. Nothing is at stake except honour. Okay, let's take a look at the rules. So, number 1, you must ride the full route under your own power. 2, no drafting. 3, accept no help that others couldn't also receive along the way. And number 4, do not make race arrangements or bookings before the race begins. No mailing supplies or equipment ahead. Right, so next up we've got the roster. So these are the 75 people that are going to be doing the Indipac. I heard a rumour somewhere that I think up to 110, 120 people actually entered the race and paid to do the race, but you only got confirmed if you were able to prove that you were going to make the start line. So a lot of people were sending in flight tickets and air tickets and things like, or copies of air tickets to prove that they were actually coming over. And one guy allegedly sent a copy of his resignation notice, so he proved that he'd quit his job to come and do the Indipac. But just looking down the list, there's a few kind of YouTube kind of celebs doing it that have their own channel, people that you might follow. So we've got Durian Rider, aka Harley Johnson, down there. We've got Cycling Maven, aka Mark Ferguson. Below him there's Ryan Flynn, who you'll know him from the Cycling Maven videos. He's the crazy South African guy that's always cracking wise on Cycling Maven's channel. And then the next thing I'm looking at on here is all the UK entrants. So I'm going to go from bottom to top because that's where I am. We've got Daniel Welsh UK, Mike Sheldrake UK, Frank Proud UK, Stuart McCormick UK, Stuart James UK, Mike Hall UK, Joe Donnelly UK, Daniel Cooper UK, Mike Cannon UK, Leo Bridger UK. So there's a few Brits doing it, so naturally we're going to be following them and seeing how they're getting on. Okay, so now we have the Facebook page. So if you want to cover all social media outlets for this race, I would highly recommend getting on Facebook and searching for Indian Pacific Wheel Race. It's got a great page, and all the kind of first-hand content is going to be put on there because that's where the organisers are putting a lot of their posts. I'll show all the links down below for these as well, so you can go straight to the pages. This one is Map Progress. I'll send you the link for Map Progress to get onto the Indipac site. But basically you can see here we've got the map of Australia. We've got the start in Fremantle in the west all the way to Sydney in the east. And down the left hand side we've got the competitors that are going to be doing it. That's James racing there. He has Ride Australia, Jesse Carson, who's one of the organisers and competitors in the race, Mike Hall, one of our Brits that we're following, Sarah Hammond, 2015 female Trans Am winner and Race to the Rock winner for 2016. Don't forget you saw it here first. Keep checking back for regular Indipac updates. We're going to be following the main contenders and I'm going to be keeping you up to date, so click subscribe. Make sure you keep up to date with what's going on in the Indian Pacific Wheel Race 2017. So this race is going to be absolutely crazy. Even at the beginning you've got quite a lumpy road section, and then you get onto the Nullarbor, which is just desert land. It's absolutely barren, no trees, nothing to break the wind. The headwinds across that are going to be absolutely torturous. The ride also takes you through the winemaking country of Adelaide and Claren Vale, which is very lumpy, very undulating, up and down terrain. Then you've got to hit the Great Ocean Road, which is very exposed, very windy, can be quite cold and wet, and then they've got to negotiate the Australian Alps, which hits some serious altitude up and down the whole way before the long drag back down to the coast to Sydney, where the race ends. Right, so head on over to Strava, and you can probably pick up any of these riders on Strava, and a lot of them will be posting on there. So this is James Rayson, this is the fella from Ride Adelaide, who's got a really cool YouTube channel, and that's his page there for you to look at. Did a quick Twitter search for some UK competitors, and I found Mike Hall. So this is Mike Hall's setup. He's riding a Kinesis Race-like TI, and he looks like he's got Reynolds Aero carbon rims on there as well. So this is a typical setup. He's got his sleeping arrangement at the back, he's got his tri-bars with his feeder pockets, he's got a frame bag, probably for food, dyno hub here, so he can charge his Garmin, charge his phone, and yeah, he looks all set. We're going to be rooting for this guy, Mike Hall, British guy, and founder of the Trans Am road race and former winner of the Trans Am as well. The only thing I have noticed is he's only got 3 water bottles there, and they're only 75ml by the looks of things, so that's 2.25 litres. He's going to need a lot more than that to get through a day, and some of the stretches out on the Nullarbors, I think someone quoted that there was a 600km stretch out on the Nullarbor where there was no service stations or rest stops to refill your bottles, so he's probably going to need to carry 6 litres at that point to have enough to do 2 days of riding and have enough water. Remember, if you're going to be following the Indipac, if you want to follow the Indipac, remember to subscribe and check back often for more videos on the Indipac, where I'm going to be following all the main contenders, including all the UK competitors, to see how they're getting on. So this is what Mike has to say about his bike. So he's going to be riding a Kinesis Gran Fondo TRV3 with conventional road caliper brakes from TRP, and he's rolling on Reynolds Aero 65 wheels. On his front wheel he's got a Shutter Precision PD 8x Dynamo hub, which will be providing his power. He's got a Di2 group set, and he's got newly revised Di2 shifters up on the aero bars, on his tri-bars there, and all of his luggage there looks like IPWR touring luggage. Interestingly enough as well, Mike Hall doesn't use any power meters either, so he can't track his wattage. He just goes on gut feeling and gut instinct, I guess. He doesn't even use a heart rate monitor to make sure he's not maxing out on his wattage or his heart rate. So let's go back to Indipac now, and we'll have a look at the homepage and see what the founder and also competing in this event, Jesse Carson, has to say about the event.
You're thinking about doing the Indian Pacific Wheel Race. The question is, what are you getting yourself into? So this is a little bit different to the normal bike race. You're going to be out there alone. If something goes wrong, no one's going to necessarily hear you scream. You're going to need to know how to solve all the problems out there. You're going to have to find your own food and water. You're going to have to carry enough equipment to stay safe out there across the wide range of climate conditions that you could expect. So it's going to be March as you're riding across the Nullarbor. It could be stinking hot. It could still be into the mid-40s temperature-wise. But maybe it could also be freezing cold at night in the desert. Maybe the rains are going to come in, and on the Nullarbor there's nowhere to hide out there. There's just no trees. Nullarbor means no trees, 0 trees. So it's not like you can just pull up and find yourself some shade or shelter and just grab yourself a coffee at a cafe and kick on. You're going to be out in the middle of nowhere, and so you're going to need to be able to deal with those conditions. So your rider's going to have to take everything they need to stay safe out there, day and night. So you might not be able to pull into a motel everywhere along the route. Maybe you're going to have to keep riding through into the night and then just camp on the side of the road somewhere. If that's your strategy, well, you need to carry the equipment to stay safe to do that. You find that even if it's 15 degrees overnight, if you're not sleeping with a sleeping bag or something like that, or at least a lightweight bivvy, you're gonna get really cold. So there's all these aspects you've got to consider. So you could have heat across the Nullarbor, but then you get into the mountains, it's going to be freezing cold at night perhaps. Maybe the snow's going to come in early, and it's going to be pretty sketchy up there. You just never know. With these races too, you really just don't know what you're going to get. The weather's something that is a factor that you just can't control. There's no point in getting pissed off about it, frustrated and annoyed, wishing for tailwinds and clear skies. You just can't control that. So you just have to take the right equipment, because really there's no such thing as bad weather. There's only bad equipment and a bad attitude.
Okay, so it'd be rude not to talk about this guy. This guy has to be my absolute favourite YouTuber. He's so funny, so outspoken, but he's got such a positive message as well. This is Harley Johnson, aka Jurying Rider, being filmed here for Fruit Bat Eddie's video, and this is his bike. He's riding a bamboo frame bike, no alloy, no carbon composites, no titanium, just bamboo for him all the way, with steel steerer there. Next up we have Cycling Maven, Mark Ferguson. He's funny too, he's a good guy, does some great videos. On your right here you can see he did a ride from Melbourne to Adelaide. It took him 2 days, and he took it looks like a canyon bike with his turn set up there, and I'm led to believe he's running pretty much the same setup for the Indipac. And zooming in here, this is his mate that's also going to be doing the race, Ryan, or Rhino as they call him, which should make for great entertainment, because these two guys, Jurying Rider and Cycling Maven, are going to be posting live stream videos. Okay, next channel to follow is Ride Adelaide. We had a look at this guy's Strava page before. It is James Rayson. Remember, we looked at his Strava page. Unfortunately, he's not doing any live streaming because he says you have to have 10,000 plus subscribers to be able to do that, and he's just skirting before 1,000. So do the guy a favour and go and subscribe to his page. He is really good. Does some great reviews, bike reviews, and just some crazy kind of funny videos. He's going to be a great one to watch in the future, but you'll just have to make do with his Strava segments. Okay, this guy is running a curve frame that he's built up, conventional chain ring 5238 I think it looks like, but he's got a 1336 cassette on the back that he's had custom built. So yeah, I think anything below 36 you're going to struggle. Jurying Riders even running mountain bike cranks on the front to give him a better gear ratio in the climbs, but this guy's just gone for a standard conventional compact on the front, but he's got his 1336. Okay, so remember, if you're following the Indipac, the Indian Pacific Wheel Race, subscribe now so I can keep you updated on what happens as it happens. I'm going to be following all the UK riders as well as Cycling Maven, Jurying Rider and the Ride Adelaide channel as well. Who you're rooting for? I'd like to see Mike Hall-Duell, Sarah Hammond, as well as Jurying Rider. It'd be interesting to see how Mark Ferguson, aka Cycling Maven, gets on. So do you know, folks, number one for you, laters.